Today, we're going to unlock a really fundamental power in programming. We're going to see how a couple of simple words, and or, can make our code way smarter, letting it handle the kind of complex decisions we see in the real world. So, if you've written any code at all, you've probably gotten pretty good at checking one thing at a time, right? Is a number greater than 10? Is a username correct? Simple, single checks. But that's not really how life works, is it? I mean, think about it. When do you ever make a decision based on just one single factor? It's pretty rare. And that leads us to the big question we're tackling today. Exactly. Real-world rules are layered, they have multiple requirements, and if we want to write programs that are actually useful, our code has to be able to reflect that complexity and juggle more than one condition at a time. And the tool we use for this job? Well, they're called logical operators. It's just the official term for these special keywords that let us chain multiple checks together into one single powerful statement. Now, to make this super intuitive, we're not going to start with a bunch of boring code. Nope. We're going to start with something we all get: the rules at a movie theater. First up, we have the and operator. Now, this one is the strict bouncer, Imagine you're walking up to the counter. To get in, you need money for popcorn and a ticket for the film. If you're missing even one of those, you're not getting in. With and, both conditions absolutely have to be true, no exceptions. Okay, now let's talk about the or operator. This one's way more laid back. At that same movie theater, they might offer a discount. To get it, you just need to be a student or a senior citizen. You don't have to be both. Just meeting one of those conditions is good enough to get the deal. So let's just boil this down, right? And is for those all of the above situations where every single thing has to be true. Or is for any of the above situations where you just need one to be true. Keep this movie theater idea in your head because it makes the code we're about to look at make perfect sense. Okay, concept down. We get it. Now let's see how this stuff actually looks in Python. And trust me, it's way more straightforward than you might think. So to write our rule, we first have to, set the scene. Let's create a couple of variables. We'll imagine our person has $20, and we'll set a variable called hasTicket to true. They look like they're all set. And boom, here it is, the and operator in action. The code is literally checking if the money is at least 10 and hasTicket is true. Since both of those things are true for our person, the code prints enjoy the movie. See? It's our movie theater rule just translated directly into code. And the or operator, just as clean, just as simple. We check if the day variable is equal to Saturday or if it's equal to Sunday. If either one of those is true, the program correctly prints, it's the weekend. Okay, here's a cool little pro tip for you, a little peek under the hood of how Python thinks. When it sees an and statement, it checks the first condition. If that first part is false, it doesn't even waste its time looking at the second one. It already knows the whole thing can't possibly be true, so it just skips ahead. It's super efficient. Pretty smart, right? All right, you've seen the concepts, you've seen the code, now it's your turn to be the computer. Let's run through a quick little scenario to really lock this in. Okay, here's the deal. You're building a login system, and the rule for access uses the OR operator. Now a user tries to get in. They are not an admin, so isAdmin is false, but they do have the correct secret code, 777. So, based on that OR rule, what happens? Do they get in? Think about it for a sec.
And the answer is, yes, they're in! Access granted! If you got that, you're on the right track.
And why is that? Well, it's all because of that one little word, or. With or, we only need one of the conditions to be true. Their admin status was false, sure, but their secret code was correct. And with or, one true is all it takes to open the door. So there you have it. You've just added a really powerful new tool to your programming toolkit. Let's just quickly recap the big idea here so it really sticks. It really just boils down to this, right? You use and for your strict requirements, where everything on the checklist has to be ticked off, and you use or for your flexible requirements, where there are multiple ways to get a yes. Just with these two little keywords, you can now build some incredibly complex and realistic rules right into your own programs. And that leads me to my final question for you. Start thinking about your own day. Deciding if you can afford something, figuring out what to wear based on the weather and your schedule. What other real-world decisions can you now see are just a series of and or statements waiting to be coded? Once you start looking, you'll see them everywhere. Hey, if this explainer helped these concepts click for you, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.